Hey guys, what's up? And welcome back to another episode of Please Tag Me. I'm Austin.
I'm Emily.
I'm Amanda.
That's Please Tag Me.
Guys,
All right, see you guys next week.
Yeah, see you guys next week.
Yeah,
See you guys in
bye.
3 weeks.
Yeah, so fun.
I've decided I'm in my clapping era. So can we just...
Yay! Oh wait, that's what we said
Oh,
yesterday.
yeah.
Anytime something good happens.
Yay! Oh my god. Oh wait, how are y'all's holidays? I haven't seen you guys in a minute.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
What's cool is, and for those of you guys who are maybe this is your first episode watching, we decided to drop our first episode Christmas Eve, or was it the day before Christmas
No,
Eve?
it
I
was
already forgot.
Christmas Eve. Yeah.
It was literally Christmas
A
Eve.
gift to ourselves.
Yep, it was a
Truly.
gift to ourselves, a gift to anyone who decided to listen or
Yeah.
watch this. But yeah, Christmas Eve, we thought we're gonna do this, and it's just the three of us, telling stories and kind of anything else that comes to mind. And yeah, we're really excited. Thank you so much, by the way, for anyone out there that's listened or watched to the first episode and watched, the handful of reels that we put out. Really appreciate that. It's literally just the three of us kind of making all this together, so we have a lot of fun doing this.
We're just
Yeah.
hanging out and yapping.
Yeah.
That's all we do anyways. We just
just
turn
yap.
cameras on.
Honestly,
Yapping.
it was so cool seeing everyone's feedback and like seeing people actually interact with something that
Yeah.
we kind of were keeping secret.
Yeah.
And I don't know about you guys, but I didn't really tell anyone we were doing this. And I called my best friend for something unrelated. I think something, my sister's engaged, so I was talking to her about something about my sister's wedding, and she was like, "So you have a podcast?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, about that."
Yeah, I knew that we agreed we didn't tell anybody, and I don't know about, we were on the same
Yeah,
page about it.
yeah.
Like, we didn't tell any of our friends. We were like, we're gonna put this out.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't tell, or I think I was telling you when you were over last night, like I didn't tell the AJR guys either.
Mm-hmm.
And so when we put it out, Ryan had texted me, he's like, what is this? Like, I'd have to go listen and watch. Like, I don't know what I'm about to find out. Obviously is fine or whatever.
Yeah.
But he was like, man, I listened to the whole thing. Like, that was really awesome. And
Yeah, so I saw one of the Don't Gap guys the other day, and I was like, oh yeah, by the way, like did a podcast, and he was like, oh my god, I saw that. Like,
Oh.
it's crazy. It, like, looks so professional. And I was
that's so great. Oh, right. Oh, that's
yeah,
awesome.
Yeah, but yeah, I saw
Oh,
Nick
that
the
makes
other
me
day,
sad.
and I was like, thanks. Yeah.
Anything interesting happening during the holidays? There's one little thing. It's not like a massive thing, but like it was something stupid and funny. And I thought to myself, I kind of want to save that for the podcast because it's so stupid.
Wait,
but
now I want to know.
Yeah, do share.
okay. So I ran out of toothpaste, and I was.
Why
all
am
right,
I
that's
not
crazy.
surprised? Literally not surprised. The amount of times this man has stolen my toothpaste. Like, he went on tour and took my toothpaste, and I didn't know until the next morning
Yeah,
because he
that's
left
true.
that night. And I got up at 7 a.m. I was like running late, and I was like, I don't have any toothpaste.
So for Christmas, did
I don't
you?
need toothpaste. I'm not gonna let you get away with that.
So
Cut that out.
No, we're leaving that in.
so for Christmas, did you get him toothpaste?
My mom did.
I got a bunch of socks and underwear for Christmas.
Thank
which
Okay.
was really
God.
Wait,
cool.
what's the story though?
Okay,
yeah,
yeah,
you're out of toothpaste.
So here's
yeah.
the story. I get home and I run out of toothpaste. I am looking through. My mom kind of does this thing where she'll leave slippers or extra little towels for me when I get home because she's so happy that I get home. And I open up the drawer and I see, oh God, what's the brand? It's Hello Toothpaste.
Can we get sponsored by Hello Toothpaste? I'm pulling up a photo. Why did
I'm waiting on you.
Why did everyone get silent?
Okay.
Apparently that's a bad idea.
Okay.
Okay.
I get out the toothpaste. There's like that much left. I went, okay, great. I didn't obviously look at it. I scrolled onto my toothbrush and it's black. I thought, oh, all right. I looked at it again and it said charcoal. That was literally the color and like the flavor, I guess, of my fucking toothpaste was charcoal. I squirted on my on my toothbrush. I'm fully brushing my teeth. Do you guys ever watch Lord of the Rings?
I haven't.
You haven't watched Lord of the Rings? That's crazy. We'll talk. That's a whole other episode that we'll talk about. That's
Whoa.
fucking nuts. But you've seen Lord of the Rings,
Yeah.
right? I started brushing my teeth, and I do this, and I look in the mirror. My whole mouth is just black, like dripping black like that. And I couldn't help but like I brushed my teeth for like 10 minutes because I felt like I was one of the orcs in Lord of the Rings. And I was like, where are the hobbits? Where are the... Give me the hobbits. Where are they? It was just like squirting. Like,
As someone who has never seen this, I have no.
It makes more sense if you've seen the films.
Okay.
Okay, it's a trilogy.
Okay.
You look it up every once
I'll
in a while.
take your.
But you know what I'm talking
funny.
about. Because you've seen the orcs, how disgusting they are. And I was literally like, give me the hobbits. Where's the ring? For like 10 minutes by myself. No one's around. And then once I ran out of that, I was like, I'm going to do like Voldemort or something. Even though he didn't have like black gushing, whatever. I was like, where was the boy?
Okay, what's like less crazy about the story to me is like charcoal toothpaste has been around for a long time.
Yeah.
Is it really? All
Yeah.
right, so I'm the first fucking person to find out about it, I guess.
The craziest part about the story is the voices you just made.
I do
By
think
myself at night.
charcoal toothpaste is very well known. I was waiting for you to say like it actually wasn't toothpaste. She put something else in there. I was waiting for that, and then those voices. Yeah, I've never heard you make that sound ever.
Yeah. But that's what I was fully by myself, just like doing impersonations. Like, what else can I do? It just ended up being really bad British impersonations. And I was like, well, now I feel like I'm just being mean. And so I kind of washed up and then I was done. I did that like for like a week straight at my mom's. Just every night I get to do a new impersonation because I had black gushing toothpaste coming out of my mouth. So anyway, that's what I wanted to share with you guys.
Merry Christmas.
Wow.
I'm getting you a lifetime supply of charcoal toothpaste.
It's so much fun. I beg anyone that's watching or listening right now, please. It's so much fun. And it's like $5, I bet.
I'm actually so excited for this episode to come out just so everyone can hear that voice you just made.
That voice was crazy. How was your
well,
Christmas?
So how was your Christmas?
My holidays were charcoal free. It was really good. All of my family was together. We did like 6 puzzles. It was just really nice getting to spend time with my grandma and my aunt and my uncle and my sister. My sister, as I mentioned already, is engaged. So we got to we did 3 different wedding dress appointments. And I cried so much seeing her in a wedding dress. We're twins. So it was just such a magical moment to see her. I can't talk about this anymore. I'll cry. It's so cool seeing her
fair.
in her bridal era. Okay. Why am I tearing up?
Wow, you do have you're really good at kind of just.
I'm too emotional. Look.
It's okay.
Guys,
That's okay to.
astrology girlies and boys, I am a water sign through and through.
I feel like I'm a fire earth.
That's so wrong. He's also a
Are we
Scorpio.
talking about the last Avatar? The
No.
Airbender?
What? You're a Scorpio. That's a water sign. Astrology.
Oh. I guess I was just thinking. I thought element. I thought, oh, Last Airbender. All right, fuck me. I guess. What a great show. Can we talk about that for an episode?
So how were your holidays?
Good. I went back home to Florida for the first time in 6 months, probably. It's the longest I've ever gone away from my niece, who I love very, very much. So I spent a lot of time with her. It was lovely. She asked me why I moved to New York, and I told her, I was like, oh, my friends are there, Bob, and to make money. And she goes, Aunt Amanda, I can give you money. And I was like, oh, Bob, that's your money. And she was like, no, Gigi gives me money all the time. I can give you money. And I was like, no, Bob, it's, it's okay. I'll still come visit. So, but it was good to see her.
She said Aunt Manda.
Aunt Manda.
Oh, man. Aw. Aunt Manda.
Aunt Manda and Bob. That's, yeah.
Oh,
My
God
best
damn it.
That is so sweet.
Kind of want to hug Merlin now.
He's asleep.
I'm also Merlin's Aunt Amanda. Tried to wake you up.
That's really awesome.
But yeah, it was good. Saw a lot of family, my mom, my dad, my brother. Spent a lot of time with my best friend. Saw Nosferatu on Christmas night.
God.
That's an in.
So that is an
Tell
in.
us about it.
Oh my God.
Was it
I
good?
can't wait to go watch Nosferatu.
I love it. You haven't seen it yet?
I've been singing it for
Wait, what? What do you mean singing it?
I don't know. It kind of just came out of my mouth. But I'm not lying. I've been singing Nosferatu.
Give me an example.
How did the melody go? Do you know what I'm talking? Because Now you're really crying.
Did you make a song?
Yeah, because Merlin likes to kind of do his little, bitey thing. And I was like, oh, he's my little Nosferatu boy.
He's been calling him a junior Nosferatu. Oh, he likes to whistle it. Do it. Yeah.
Nosferatu.
Okay, I was like, you can whistle it, you can sing it.
Remember when I was at Penny's house and I was in the shower? I was singing, like wailing in the shower, like Nosferatu.
Oh yeah,
he's
you
a
did do
little
that.
Nosferatu boy. Nosferatu.
Wow.
Like,
Wow.
it was
anyways,
so much fun.
The movie was great.
I just made that about me and not about you.
It's okay. But no, you should see it. Have you seen it?
Mm-mm.
Okay, neither of you seen it. I loved it. I like that you said it was an in.
Yeah,
our ins and outs.
That was Austin's idea.
I love the word so much.
No, that's fair. I would highly recommend going to see it. My takeaway, I'm not someone who, when I watch a movie, I immediately have a lot of thoughts about it. I come out of it and I'm either like, I liked that, or I didn't like that. Is kind of all I have to say, really. And I came out of that and I liked it, first of all. But I also, I love Wes Anderson movies. And I came out of that and I was like, felt like goth Wes Anderson.
Wow.
Which, like, nobody crucify me for that take. But, like, I mean that in a great way. But I was like, it was very visually appealing. There were so many, it was one of those things where I'm watching it and every 30 seconds I'm like, ooh, nice shot. Ooh, nice shot. Ooh, that's pretty. It just felt very, like, visually appealing and symmetrical and nice, but in a dark way.
Yeah,
and I liked it.
Yeah, that's Robert Eggers. The only other movie that I saw that he did was the Northman. I looked it up just now. He also did The Witch, which came out a little bit of it was like you would hate it. It's like a horror thriller thing. And then he also did The Lighthouse.
Brittany and I,
that was like the big art
yeah.
house film. Like when The Lighthouse came out, it was like a crazy scary movie to watch, and now it's done.
Yeah, Brittany and I,
Nosferatu.
my roommate, watched The Lighthouse today, actually. Earlier today.
No way.
Yeah, and same thing. I watched it. We got a few seasons, and I was like, yeah, like dark Wes Anderson.
You know what I really want to see is Anora.
I also haven't seen Anora.
Whoa!
I know.
Guys,
Out of all people, time out.
Mark today in history. Everybody clap.
Yay!
Emily has seen a movie that you guys haven't seen. This is crazy.
We're behind.
No,
Yeah.
that's actually crazy. I'd like to, I am accepting an award. I'd like
Sean
to
Baker.
thank not only myself for going, but my friend Stephanie for making me go. Thank you.
So Nosferatu, Anora, and what other ins and outs did we have?
Oh my god, is that what the conversation was about? Ins and outs? I don't even remember.
Oh wait, no. One of our other outs was watching your old Instagram story.
Oh my god.
Because we
My
realized
God.
Everyone does that. Everyone watches their own Instagram story. I'll post something. Everyone's guilty of it. I'll post it. It's just a stupid picture of the sky that everyone else does, and I put the Paris, Cairo, whatever filter on it.
Paris.
And I go and like I'll wait 10 minutes. I'll let some time go by, and then I'll go and see the viewers, and I'll see like my friend like oh, wonder what Amanda saw it. I'm gonna like rewatch it, but how Amanda sees this. And I'll do that for everyone that I kind of care about, and it's crazy. Everyone does that, right? Or is it
Yeah. Okay, I've actually stopped checking viewers. Maybe it's because I used to check viewers a lot, like when I was single, but now that I'm not, I like don't check them ever. But I am my own biggest fan when it comes to Instagram stories.
I feel like I go back through, especially if I post a lot in one day, even like close friends or like main story, I'll go back through and I'm just like, oh, like what a good day I had. I feel like that's kind of why I rewatch
you
it.
like gonna
and
rewatch
I'm like,
my day.
I'm like, oh, like
Yeah.
that was a cute little video that I posted.
It's so sweet.
That's kind of like my mind frame when I'm doing
Yeah.
it. But then I'll do it, and then like 30 minutes later, I'm like, I should go watch that again.
Check in on it. Yeah. I like to. My throat just made a really weird
I heard
noise.
that too. I didn't want to say anything, but I was like, what the fuck, Emily? Drink some water.
Can we cut that out?
No.
Anyway,
I can cry again.
no.
I just made another weird noise.
Get the microphone away from your face.
Okay, making a lot of weird throat noises. Hold on.
Yay. Yeah,
remember
drink
what I
your
was
Capital
saying.
One Orange Bowl. Yeah.
Branded Stanley.
Branded Stanley Cup.
I did just get back from the Orange Bowl. I got to pet a dog.
Oh,
It
yeah.
was so exciting. An out that got vetoed that I'd like to discuss is, and this is so, it got vetoed because it's so specific, but like, I need to find my people, so please, like, reach out. When I stop, you're looking at me with like
Go ahead.
much
No,
pity.
continue.
Go ahead.
Okay, I got this Aura ring like 1 month into touring this year. And I was like, this is going to be so perfect because I'm going to be able to track all of these steps and all of how I'm sleeping and all this like health data that I'm so excited to know. And I had a bottom bunk for this tour. And I don't know what happened, but my Aura ring didn't think I slept for 3 weeks. Like, I don't know. Is this a bottom bunk thing? Is this just like a gals on tour thing where like if you wear an Aura ring to sleep on the bus, like does your, like my Aura ring thought I was dying for 3 weeks. It kept sending me these alerts being like, you're not sleeping.
So the
Anyway,
out
so
is-
my out is Aura rings in the bottom bunk. And they were like, guys, no. They were
Yeah,
like, no
'cause
way.
It's very niche.
No
But,
one.
okay, hear me out. There's got to be other people who tour out there with Aura rings. Does your Aura ring track your sleep?
I'm sorry to
Just
whoever's
no,
listening right now.
we're not sorry. We're not sorry. I need to find my people. Like, is it me?
What the fuck, Emily? Drink your Capital One fucking Stanley Cup. Let's go back to the fun ins and outs.
I'm
Uber
feeling
Eats, out.
targeted.
Uber Eats is out.
Yeah.
I spend too much money on that.
Me
when
too.
I'm on
It's-
tour, though,
When I'm on tour, it's like,
you know.
all right,
Yeah.
I gotta do it.
I have to eat.
I got my PDs I got my per diems for the
Yeah.
day. I gotta do it, but
Oh my god! Wait, no. Speaking of outs, tummy aches. That was one of our outs. That was one of our
My
outs.
tummy.
Yay! No, not yay for tummy aches.
Now my
We don't want tummy
hurts.
no more tummy aches. I forgot most of the ins and outs.
Another out that I have, imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
Was that
Yeah.
that was
I
part
think
of
that
our
was-
ins and outs,
yeah,
right?
I think that's the
Or we
best
talked about
out.
it. If we didn't put it on there, we definitely talked about
Yeah.
it.
Was it on there?
Let me check.
Or it might
don't
have been
know.
it might have been a Q&A thing that we put up on our Instagram, but yeah.
Somebody suggested that as their
Somebody
out. That's
suggested
what it was.
as their out,
Yeah.
imposter syndrome. Yeah, that's something. Yeah, I think this goes for any creative, especially like a lot of the photo, video, art people out there that are listening to this.
It was one of our outs.
Yeah, that's something I get constantly. I think, everyone in this room definitely experiences it. Anyone that I've ever talked to that works with like the biggest names out there, everyone deals with it. I mean, even artists in general, like actors, musicians, everyone kind of deals with that.
I think I felt it so much this past year. Just kind of jumping from doing arenas, amphitheaters, that was never on my radar really. I just kind of, I don't know, I didn't ever think to even shoot that high. And so when I like jumped to that and we're doing our first arena show and, I'm in Madison Square Garden and I'm kind of sitting there and I remember so vividly thinking, why am I the one here doing this? Like any of those amphitheater shows, any of that, I remember thinking that just like, what did I do to be here? And it's so easy to like fall into that mindset. But for me at least, it does help to know that pretty much every friend that I have that also does this is also feeling that. And also like, it's kind of like the comfort in numbers. And it's like, okay, cool. So this just kind of comes with the territory.
Yeah,
is what
totally.
I've picked up on.
Yeah, I've really struggled with imposter syndrome. I think I feel it mainly with my photography, and I think that sharing your art and what you've created is so vulnerable. But like I'm feeling it right now. I just got a pretty big tour offer for the rest of the year. I don't know if I want to share it yet on the podcast, but
It's okay if you don't want to share it, but
Yeah.
I got
it's a
like a
huge. It's
a really big deal. It's gonna
Yeah.
be
it's
like
your biggest.
it's
your,
gonna be
it's your
the biggest tour
the
I've
biggest
ever been
camp. Yeah.
on. And I was asked to be the production coordinator, and it's a band that I really like admire and love, and I'm gonna get to do all of these really cool venues and festivals.
Headlining.
Yeah, and I'm so thankful, but there's also a part of me that's so scared because I'm taking over for someone who's like just amazing at their job, and I'm like, oh my God, they chose me. Do I even know what I'm doing? And it's like, this is something I've worked towards for so long, but now that it's here, I'm like, holy shit, am I ready? And I think that there is a lot of imposter syndrome there and being like, I'm just a girl and I'm taking over for this, like, in my eyes, insanely powerful and amazing person. And I just am so scared that, like, I'm not ready for that. But I make a vision board for my phone screen every day, every month, not every day. That'd be kind of crazy. And on my screen, I have, if you weren't ready, you wouldn't have the opportunity. And I think that helps sometimes. But yeah, I mean, imposter syndrome for me, I remember, I mean, there's still times where I'll send in my photo folder, like after I've finished editing, I just send in everything. And then I specifically remember once, it was one of my bigger shows, like right when I was starting, I sent it and I went and sat outside and cried for an hour because I was like, they're gonna hate it, they're gonna realize that I'm not a real photographer and that they hate all my work and they shouldn't have paid me for it. And then they were like, these are amazing, but like there's just something like so scary about that.
Yeah, I definitely, that was my last 3.5 weeks of the Maybe Man tour. I was just, I wouldn't say I was struggling, but I was just like, damn, am I finding new angles, shots, whatever you want to call it? Like, I was really, really struggling. And then, yeah, for those of you who don't know, it's a really cool story. I hired on an assistant, and she just was, her name's Kate. She's really awesome. And she just came on like ready to learn and ready to just accept everything coming her way. And it was really awesome to see someone like that come in at like such a young age, and she just wanted it. And then getting to see what she was producing every night, like I needed to see that. I needed to get kind of a kick in the ass a little bit. Like, God damn, I need to like constantly kind of fight for that hunger in a way. And that's tough because the creative burnout is a real thing, and just burnout in general is a real thing. But seeing that, for me at least, it kind of re-inspired me a little bit for like the last week or so. I was like, okay, I'm really gonna put it into overdrive or whatever. And I'm not saying this that like I wasn't giving it my all. I was just scared that, you know, like the AJR guys were not liking what I was giving them and what I was producing. And like, that's just a real fear that I was just like, they're not going to like it this week, or that they're not going to like tonight's show or whatever. And then before you know it, Jack Ryan will be like, hey, great, you know, great stuff last night. That was really some of your best work. And I'm like, really? Like, okay, let me, you know, whatever. And, you know, it's just, I'm riffing off of what you were talking about.
That, not to interrupt you.
No.
But I think that the creative field is so saturated.
It's scary.
And everyone has their own way of doing it.
Yeah.
And obviously, I think all of our tastes are just a little different. We all have different people we admire and different work that we're just like, holy shit, that blows us away.
Yeah.
And I think that it's really hard to be like, where does my work fit into this? Like, if mine doesn't look like these people that I admire, is it good? But then, like, Austin and I have this conversation all the time. I feel like when we first met, our photography styles were more aligned in what we both loved. And we have so many moments now where he's like, holy shit, look at this photo. It's like the most insane photo I've ever seen. And I'm like, I don't like it.
Don't see it.
Isn't that crazy?
And the just tastes have shifted.
Yeah. And then I will show him. I'm like, this just blew me away. This makes me want to go and work my ass off. And he's like,
I feel nothing. I'll go, really? That one? Like, all right. Like, and it's not like I'm not picking apart people. It's just like something that like could come across our feed or whatever. And I'll look at it and go, oh my God, who made this? Look at like how the intricacy of it. Look at this or that. It makes me feel this way. And she'll go, I'm sorry, but I'm just not getting that or whatever.
Yeah.
But I think that's good though. At first I think we were like, we don't like the same things anymore. I think it's actually a really good thing that like we're finding like, oh, this is why I don't, or this is how I see it, right? Or this is how
And I think
etc.
it hurts and helps in those moments.
Yeah.
Because I think it helps to show that like your art, regardless of whether it looks like the people that you aspire to be like, or at least admire their work, I think you still have an audience even if it's separate than that. But also it's scary because you're like, the market's so saturated. What's stopping this artist from liking this other person more?
Yeah.
Or like they used to have this awesome person and I'm not delivering what they used to get. They're comparing me to someone else.
Well, I think too, and in that situation, it's like an artist has like made a decision for like what they want visually, creatively, in any aspect, and it's like they chose you for however long they chose you, and like nothing is forever. Like some relationships can last one tour, some relationships can last years, and I think something that I'm trying to remember to like help myself with feeling the imposter syndrome is like things are good for as long as they're good, and like I have the experiences that I have, and like regardless of whether I am in it and like I feel ready for it, like I am there, and like I'm just gonna do my best. And like it's really hard to remember that in the moment, and it's easier when I'm removed from it and I haven't been on tour in a few months and I'm like, why can't I just think like this all the time? But like
Totally.
I try really hard when I am out of the thick of it to remind myself of that frequently, to hope that it transfers into when I am in the middle of a tour and I'm feeling that way again. But to kind of like bounce off the whole thing, like outside of just kind of feeling like you're maybe like not doing your best or whatever, I think for me, I feel a lot of the imposter syndrome. I was talking with my friend Joel recently, and he said something. He's a super talented visual artist, and he said something that really kind of like resonated with me. He said that he wanted to be like making things that were exciting for him. And I was like, that's exactly what it is. Like when I'm feeling creatively burnt out, it's because I'm not making anything that feels exciting to me.
Yeah, you're not getting that
and so
oomph, whatever that word is, that excitement.
Even if I have external sources, if I have friends telling me this is your best work yet, or like even the artist being like, I love this, it's great. It's a nice like pat on the back, but I don't feel the fulfillment from it because I don't feel I'm like, okay, like when I delivered this, I was like, oh man, like this isn't new for me. I'm not upping myself like every time. And I can like recognize that that's not sustainable to be like new best every single night. But I feel like I need to get that. And I feel like when I don't get that, that's when the imposter syndrome starts to come in. And I'm like, well, why can't I?
That was really well put, by the way.
Yeah.
Like totally.
I haven't been doing as much photo as I've wanted to recently. But when I first started doing photo, I remember thinking like, I've been doing this for so long. Granted, when I started photography, I was doing like portraits and some event, never concert. And I think when I moved into the concert sphere, a lot of people in my life did associate me with being a photographer. And honestly, like, I'm just going to say it, my work wasn't very good. And I think that, no, but I think like there's a certain like pressure of like, I've been doing this for so long and it's scary to start a new thing, but you have to, I have to constantly remind myself, like you have to be a beginner at some point. Like,
yeah,
you
I mean,
have to
everyone's
learn
shit at the beginning. You have to.
But there's a certain fear of like starting over that I did. And like, it's kind of a feeling of like, I should be better than I am now because of my history, even though it's a new thing or a new facet of a thing. What tips would you guys have, like when you're feeling imposter syndrome? Like, what do you do to get out of it?
I spiral.
Me too.
I spiral hard.
I mean, I honest to God, this show is something that I needed something new, and this was something that when I literally for those of you who don't, like, I was in the shower and I was just like, what if we got some cameras up and we just started talking about XYZ, and we just went for it. And I told her about it literally as I was getting out of the shower, and she was like, cool, let's do it. And then that's when I called you up. I was like, oh, like Amanda would be perfect for it. And the second it became like a real, like, remember like how we started, like once we started getting those logos from Austin, I was like, Austin Dunson, who created the Please Tag Me logo. Once we started getting that from him, I was like, oh man, this is like a real it became
it
became like a real thing. And then
solidified.
especially like once we like, once we finished the final version of the first episode and, I showed you guys or whatever, and then it became like, oh my God, let's
Like, cool.
let's get it out in the world.
Yeah.
And then there was so much excitement behind that because it was new, and it was because there was no other ulterior motive for doing it. It was just because I wanted to do something fun.
Yeah.
And because we're creative people and we're already people, it's like, and even if it is just like we're talking into microphones and we talk about bullshit and camera stuff or whatever, it's just something to look forward to.
It's fun and it's
Yeah.
something new and it's something to learn. It's a
Yeah.
challenge in a way. I think that's like important too. I think that's for me too where the imposter syndrome comes in. It's like when I'm on tour, I really fall into like my kind of routine and my habits of this is how I shoot this show and this is how I edit these photos from this show. And the monotony of that, I think, is what kind of gets me
Yeah.
to where I don't feel like I'm doing anything new. So I feel like doing this show for you and like the audio and like it's a new thing and it's we're learning something.
Yeah.
We're learning a new
Absolutely.
skill. It's fun.
Yeah, so I guess to answer your question, for anyone that's experiencing imposter syndrome right now, it's such a difficult thing to tackle and answer. Your best bet is to actively seek new routes of inspiration constantly. I mean, we were at Half Price Bookstore the other day in Dallas, and we were just looking at like the photo book section, and I like pulled this book and I was just like, man, this is so sick. Man, it's over there. I don't know if I should like get it really quickly, but I like it. It's the Age of Adolescence book. But I was just looking through and I was like, this is so fucking like, look at these pictures. And it was just pictures from the 50s, but they're
Yeah.
shot like how they are today. It's just very edgy and very artsy. And I was like, God, this is just, I need more of this. Like it makes me want to look for something else. Like, what can I do on my own that can just be my own thing? And I'm not doing it for money. I'm not doing it for whatever. It's just because I need to get something out.
Yeah. You saying finding new things of inspiration, like reminded me. I literally today I went and saw the Robert Frank exhibit at MoMA. And
Yeah,
that was like I went and saw it a few months ago and I was feeling really burnt out and I was like, I don't want to touch my camera for a long period of time. And I went and I saw that exhibit, and that night I went home and I printed out a ton of my photos and I took the photos that I like just posted the other day for my 10-year thing. But literally, I went and saw that exhibit, and that night I was like, oh, I like it. It just was so I loved it so much. I was so moved by it, and I was like, I want to like make something that like feels like my version of this now.
Can I just say, like, when you posted your 10-year anniversary thing, seeing how you had like all of your pictures hung up like that, that fired me up, and it made me want to go do something. Like seeing someone make something and do something that they really believe in and they put their heart into, it makes me want to like, oh, now I want to get after it. I'm hungry.
Yeah.
What the fuck can I do to contribute to the world? And what can fucking
Yeah.
just, you know what I mean? It's like I want to run a marathon at that point.
I think too, like one more thing when, you asked like, what are some ways? And I initially said, I was like, I just spiral. But the other thing that I do is like, I talk about it. I'm very vocal about when I am feeling that way.
Yeah.
With my friends, with the people I'm on tour with. I mean, this year I feel like I ran into you, Austin, so many times. I feel like every time I ran into you, I was like, what am I doing? And like, being able to kind of share in that with someone and kind of commiserate. It's like, it helps, and it's like, okay, it's not just me, whether that's friends on another tour, friends on the tour that I'm on, like it helps to kind of get it out and just put it on the table and be like, hey, this is how I'm feeling, and to have that external validation of someone saying, that's okay, it happens, like it'll pass.
Yeah, I think like kind of piggybacking off of that, a tip I would have is to like surround yourself with a good support system, but not necessarily a support system that's just going to tell you what you want to hear. I think having people in your life
pushing you a little bit
that like, will tell you the truth.
Yeah.
In loving ways. It doesn't have to be blunt, but like having a good support system around you when you're like deep spiraling, being like, everything I touch is shit. And they're like, no, you're having a bad brain moment. Like, this is beautiful and what you're doing is good and you're on the right track. Or even being like, you're having a bad brain moment. this is really cool. Let me tell you what I think you could do to make it a little better. Like, I think it's a little too dark here. Or what if you tried to make the skin tones more red instead of green? Like, having people in your life that can give you that constructive criticism, then when they tell you that something is good, like, you're like, oh, you won't bullshit me. Like, having people in your corner when you can't be there for yourself in that way, like, when I'm really struggling with imposter syndrome, like, my brain is my worst enemy. And, like, I can knowledgeably know that, but I can't feel that. And, like, having a trustworthy source for me, a lot of the times it's Austin, because Austin's not afraid of being like, this isn't your best.
Yeah,
And
because I want
I know.
to be, yeah.
I'm not
like,
saying he's not an asshole.
Yeah.
But, like, I
We need to
know
be
that
able to be
he's,
honest.
yeah, I know that he's in my corner. And I know that sometimes our visions don't align. So when he gives me a criticism, I'll take it with a grain of salt. I'll apply what I feel feels right, or I'll try everything and I'll take off what I don't like, because sometimes our styles do differ, but 9 times out of 10 when he gives me a critique and I apply it, it makes my work stronger. And I think that having a support system when you're dealing with imposter syndrome, a really strong support system will make all the difference. Like, they'll pull you out again, but they'll also, like, keep you working and moving and growing in the direction you want to go in.
Yeah. I think that's a pretty good answer and wrap on
Yeah.
the imposter syndrome. Okay, so for those of you who don't know, we, like, maybe a week ago, we went out on our Instagram and we reached out to everyone asking, what are some questions that you guys might have for, 3 people that tour for a living? And yeah, we got some questions. I think Emily's going to pull them up. Yeah, so
that's why my iPad's been on my lap this whole time.
This girl
I'm an iPad
loves
kid.
her iPad.
That's okay. What's the question?
Hold on.
Yeah, give us-
Do you guys
yeah,
want to
give us
see
a-
my case?
Love.
Y'all knew that this was going to happen. Sorry.
It's okay.
I love how the dogs just keep getting closer
I
and closer
know.
to you, by the way. Are they in the shot?
I think Daisy maybe
Oh,
is.
okay.
Daisy is.
Merlin's right
Yeah,
here.
Merlin and
Merlin's
Daisy
butt
are
is.
fully just...
Merlin's head is.
Oh
Oh
my.
my God.
I feel really honored right now.
That's
you can't see it,
unbelievable.
but you should.
I'm going
be
to
able
take a
see it.
picture, and this is going to go... People that are watching this, it's going to go in the middle of the episode.
I
All right,
feel
look at me, Amanda. Okay, that's going to go on our story.
Perfect.
I feel really
Absolutely
honored.
perfect.
All
Okay.
right, go ahead.
So the first question is from Simply T-Rex. Can you guys please do a style guide for what you wear on tour?
Yes.
This question was made for you, Amanda.
I, for one, I love my cute show blacks. I love my cutie little stage blacks. I am such an advocate for skirts. I have multiple skirts that I love for shows. They're great for summer.
Do you want to explain skirts to people like, I don't know, me
Like
and
it is
don't
in-
know what that means?
It's a skirt with shorts.
Got it.
But I have my skirts. I have a good pair of black jeans. I have some good black tank tops, good black long sleeves. My entire closet at home is just black clothes. Like, my show clothes are just my clothes. And that has been years of accumulating that. But I think for me, I think it's really important. Like, I want what I'm wearing when I'm working to feel like me still. Like, I don't want it to feel like a uniform or like just like an outfit that I'm putting on just for work. Like, I want it to still feel like me and like something that I want to wear. So that's why I've accumulated just a lot of black clothes so that I can wear it in my day-to-day life and for work. But yeah, I don't know, just things that are in the color black, but that are items that I still really like and are good and that I think are cute and fun. And then I get a lot of use out of them. And then you feel good while you're shooting and working because you're like, I got a cute little outfit on.
I do believe in look good, feel good, play good mentality.
No, totally.
I'm right there with you on that. Although for me, it's
Oh
black Dickies, Hoka's, and t-shirt. It's not.
I think
a camera shot.
something you all need to know about Austin
All right.
is that he'll wear the same outfit for a week straight. And he'll sleep in it too.
All right. America doesn't need to know that.
When he packs for tour, it's like his backpack is all of his personal belongings and then like 12 camera bags.
Hell yeah, I ain't packed for shit. We just did our what's in our camera bag little video thing before we started shooting this.
You literally didn't have a bag in your.
I didn't. All I had, the camera that I'm looking at, it's all I have. It's just, and that's it. I don't bring anything. I used to be like, I gotta bring the fucking 200 things.
Honestly, okay. Overalls on tour, love it. A jumpsuit, love it. Hard to pee in, but I just love being able to like jump out of my bunk and be like, okay,
Have an outfit.
I just woke up. I don't have coffee in my system yet, but I need to go. I need to like load in and figure out all the shit before everyone else wakes up and goes in. So like an overall, so great. All in one outfit. That's one thing you have to choose. You're out the door.
So true.
But I think style on tour is something that I'm still like really kind of trying to figure out. I think with Regina, when I tour with her, I am such a dress girl. I love a skirt. I love a dress. Almost all of my wardrobe is black, so like I don't struggle with the color. But when I'm with Regina, because she wears all these really pretty dresses, I feel like I can wear my really pretty dresses. And so I'll wear like black dresses, and it's so fun. But I do feel like on all the other tours I've done, if I try to wear like a little black dress while I'm loading in with all these guys wearing like black shorts and work shirts, I'm like, oh, maybe not. So I find myself wearing like a lot of jeans, leggings. I'll try to throw in a cute black shirt, but honestly, like I'm more take Amanda's style advice over mine, or in addition to Amanda's, instead of taking my advice, go to Deanie's. Check out Deanie's show blacks.
Deanie Chen,
Holy
shout out to our
shit.
friend Deanie Chen. She looks like she's gonna walk on that fucking stage and grab a guitar and start playing.
Yeah,
She's got the coolest show blacks.
Like
Runway
literally,
outfits.
Yeah, but
She looks so cool all the time.
She's got like red hair and everything. Just so fucking. She's like so cool.
I knew Deanie before I knew you, Amanda, and I remember the first time I ever saw her on stage, she was wearing a mini skirt, and I'd never seen another photographer wear a mini skirt before, and I was like, she's literally shooting in a mini skirt right now. What the fuck is going on?
Deanie's magic. I'm
like,
convinced.
So I look to you and Deanie a lot when I'm like, let's pack for tour, and then I end up wearing like jeans the whole time. It's really sad.
do end up. I found myself on like my last few tours. I end up with like it's almost like if I was a cartoon character, this would be my outfit, and it's like the low loose baggy Levi's.
Yes,
and then
so
either in my platform docs, which anyone who knows me knows I am literally always wearing those. And then either a black long sleeve if it's cold out, or a black tank top if it's hot out. And that's kind of been I have like my skirts in my suitcase, and then the day comes and I'm like, I'm just gonna wear my jeans today.
Okay, Levi's low loose jeans, so good for touring. They're comfortable, they're
great.
cute. And then I usually pack 2 pairs of shoes. I'll do my docs and like Hoka's or some sort of running shoe for show days, because whenever my feet start hurting in one, I'll just switch to the other until... Anyway.
All right, what's
so
the
next
one?
question. Can you each talk about a time where being Delulu has helped you achieve your goals?
Your being Delulu was your in, so why don't you?
Yes, I'll start.
Yeah.
So my motto of the year is being Delulu is always the Salulu, and then it made it into our ins. But it's literally my favorite thing ever. But one I would say is probably like leaving C3 was like pretty crazy of me. I like had something lined up, and it like pretty quickly fell through. It just like wasn't the right opportunity for me. I did it for a few months. It wasn't the right fit. But like I fully just was like, no, I'm going to move to New York. And then I did. And I left every sort of comfort that I had known for the past 7 years behind. But if I hadn't have taken that leap of faith for myself and been like, everything's just going to work out, I wouldn't be where I am now.
Yeah.
And this is like the tour offer I just got, and like how my years lined up right now, and how the end of my last year was. It's been something I've been dreaming of for the past, my whole career. And like it took me trusting myself and being a little delusional to get there. And sometimes if you have a gut feeling that feels a little delusional, like it's only delusional because it hasn't happened yet and you haven't seen it happen yet. It doesn't mean it's actually delusional.
Not gonna happen.
Yeah, like I think that when things feel delusional, it's because they feel really out of reach. And just because they're out of reach doesn't mean that you won't get there.
Yeah.
It's just not there yet. And
Yeah.
so I'm kind of like, I'm going to be as delusional as I want, because like if I can dream it, I can achieve it.
Yeah, I kind of feel like for me, like my whole career is, I feel like since I was like 15 and like shot a show for the first time, I was kind of just like, oh, like that's what I'm going to do. And I just like never really saw any other possibility. And now somehow 10 years later, like I'm here and I'm doing it. And I'm super grateful. But I feel like I've always just kind of had this like, well, I'm not going to do anything else. So I'll figure it out. And yeah.
Yeah.
So I think everything for me is kind of just like, teehee, it's fine.
Yeah.
It'll work out.
I kind of think like people are gonna say no to you, but like as long as you don't say no to yourself, like if you never stop, it's gonna happen sometime.
Yeah.
Like it's just gonna happen if you keep trying.
Yeah.
Okay, the next question is, what catches your eye most when photographing in any setting?
That's a really good question. My favorite thing to shoot at a show is not the stage, and it's always the crowd. I love more than anything shooting the crowd. And this is something that I've talked about that Casey story on the last episode, but it really is. It's one of my favorite things to do. I think my favorite photographs are always of people experiencing the show. I will always find joy in that, and that will be my number one thing, whether it's video or photo. I will always try to make that moment not like a priority, but like if I can find it, I will do everything in my power to get it without ruining it.
Yeah.
Without sticking a camera in their face and oh, do it again. But I want it to just be like, just
natural.
Just keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah. I think similarly, I think my answer is like any sort of connection, and whether that's like people in the crowd connecting with the artist on stage, like any sort of interaction, or people on stage connecting with each other on stage. Like if there's a good moment where there's like a little bit and some sort of interaction, or that's the artist connecting with me and like the camera and like looking straight at me, like any sort of moment where there is like some sort of connection happening, or something that like any sort of moment that feels intimate in this larger setting, I think is what I'm really drawn to, and like trying to kind of pick out those little moments to make a big show feel special and close and smaller, but in a good way.
I think I look for like intimate moments is what I really love, and I don't necessarily mean like with other people. I love catching like that moment when an artist like takes that breath on stage, or like they're soaking in the crowd, or they're getting ready quietly like backstage and like taking a moment to themselves backstage, or like I like finding almost that like deep breath in a photo. Like I got one recently with
That's a really
Regina.
good way to like I know exactly you saying that. I know exactly what you're talking about. That kind of
I can like picture like
literally
a photo
that's
of yours, like a picture photo. Like I can like
that's a
picture
really
photos
great way
like
to
that.
describe it.
Like I got one of Regina walking the stage during her December residency in Brooklyn, and it's just her family wasn't with her. It was just her and me and like security waiting to let her on stage, and just something like so it feels so intimate. Or even like her like taking a moment to feel the crowd cheering for her. Like those moments are my favorite moments to capture.
Yeah.
Or like
That's
same,
great.
not just with the artists, like those moments in the crowd too.
Yeah.
Like that's what I look for.
Yeah.
Okay, our final question for the episode is, how has y'all's perspective on gear you use evolved the longer you've toured?
That's a great question.
That's a really good question.
Yeah.
God damn. Man, and maybe some of you watching this, maybe you guys are also big fans of Peter McKinnon, and like I used to be so obsessed with that and like being such a gearhead and like, oh, I gotta have XYZ to be able to do blah 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 blah. And the more I think it just really comes with experience. I think the more I kept shooting, the more I kept figuring out what I'm good at and like what I need to have in order to be good at it. It just became like less and less and less about like, I need this, I need that. And then it really just came down to like, I I'm relying on my hands, and I don't need any of the extra bullshit. It's just like, if you give me for video, if you literally give me like a handy cam where everything is auto white balance, auto temperature, auto whatever, I can hit record. I'm literally going to laugh, and I'm going to have the time of my life because I know I'm going to be really good with it. You know, now obviously like I've got like a setup that works for me, but like I like not having a lot of stuff, and I like being really, and I don't remember if I brought this up before in the past, but I really believe the more you're limited, the more it forces you to be creative. I've always believed that. If I go into a show and I'm going to shoot that whole fucking show with this one camera and this one lens, like an 8mm fisheye lens, which is crazy, but your work is going to look so much different compared to everyone else's because you're limiting yourself. That's the only thing you're going to use to shoot. I don't want to rely on like 10 other different things. So anyway, I know it's a long tangent of an answer, but I get really passionate about like, telling the story, worry less about the gear and tell the story.
Yeah. I feel like worrying less about the gear too, it gives you more time to like focus on the story and like what is happening and like kind of what's going on. I feel similarly, like I feel like I mean I'm still someone I love to like switch my lens and like get like a different moment from like with a different.
And I'm not knocking on that, by the way.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
But it like I still have like a lot of things that I use when I'm shooting, and that's just like what works for me. But like the one thing that I have kind of realized is like when I was younger, I wanted like the best, and I felt like I needed to upgrade all the time.
Me too.
And now I'm
Absolutely.
like, I kind of been thinking about this a lot this last year, and I'm like, I have my gear now, and I think I did a Q&A thing recently, and someone asked me like, oh, if you could buy your dream camera setup, what would you get? And I was like, I wouldn't I have my kit. I like what I use, and so I feel like that's where I've kind of changed. I'm like, I don't feel the need to, like, I have what I have, and I like it, and I'm very happy, and I'm very grateful with it, and like, I'm kind of like, I don't feel the need to have like the top of the line, the brand new, the best of the best. Like I don't feel the need to upgrade constantly.
And if you do upgrade constantly, if you are hitting that, like you're getting the newest Sony Alpha, whatever bullshit, you're getting the newest Canon mirrorless, whatever bullshit, then I'm sorry, but like I feel like your work is going to look like everyone else's where they're all using like the new shit. Imagine someone that's like, well, I still use my, Canon 5D Mark II,
but they know their way forwards and backwards.
They know
with
every motherfucking button on that camera.
And I feel like somebody who's getting like the new camera too, like can learn it the same way. But I like it's just I think it's all like personal preference.
Sure, it's always gonna be personal preference at the end of the day. But
because I think for me, mine has evolved based on what I'm learning I like in my photography. So it's evolved based on how I like photos has evolved. I personally love sharp images, and or sharper images
as opposed to blurry images.
Well, but
I'm busting your
like not everyone loves like a really sharp
totally
totally.
And I noticed that I like not like crazy sharp, but I like that
sharper.
More than
I mean, I feel like even
fluid. I like the clean feel. And my old kit, it's older. I didn't have that great of a lens. I couldn't achieve that look with my kit. And so as I'm learning what I like and what I want to see in my photos, that's when my kit's evolving. It's like, oh wait, when I'm shooting, I actually don't. I got a wide angle lens because like I love wide angle work, but on my stuff, I don't really like it, so I don't really use my wide angle. I do love a more close angle, so like I do still use a 70-200, where like I know a lot of people don't really necessarily use that if they don't have to. And so I think as I'm getting to know what I like more, and as that's changing, because I doubt that's gonna stay the same my whole life, like that's when my kit is changing. So I don't like knock anyone for updating their kit if what their current situation is not producing what they want. But that said, I think that we're all huge in like, you can still create with whatever you have. You don't have to go out and drop $10,000 to get photos. If all you can afford is an old used camera, that's amazing. Like, and you can make what you want with that camera.
Can make great art with that. I mean, I've seen so much like great work that people have made recently. I feel like, like little digicams are really coming back, and little like camcorders, and like I've seen some really cool stuff that people have made with just like
Totally.
Like, it's just like, you don't need, I think that's where my perspective has shifted. It's like, I've really kind of settled into like you don't need the newest and the biggest and the greatest. And
there was a really cool, I forget how long ago it was, but I remember seeing a really cool interview that Childish Gambino was doing. And somebody was talking about like, well, like, you know, if you want to make movies nowadays, or if you want to do this, you got to have XYZ. And he was just like, that's not true. He was like, what's in your pocket right now? Well, that's just an iPhone. I said, what? It's a dude, you can shoot video on it. Go use it. Like, if you're telling me like anyone can make a movie with this thing in their pocket, like you said that to me when I was 10, I would have made like a dozen movies by the time like the summer ended or whatever. And like, I don't know, it's something like that that's always kept with me. I'm like, he's right. Like,
like how my kit is evolving right now to like full circle ends. I'm really into studio photography right now. Like, I really want to get into that. So I was telling Austin that hopefully if I have an opportunity to tour this year with photo, I want to bring like a little studio setup with me.
Yeah.
Because that's what I'm really interested in. Like that sort of photography is what is inspiring me right now. So like my kit is evolving based on my inspiration as well.
Yeah.
So
nice.
To full circle that back to the ends.
Yeah, and we have a ton more questions that obviously we just kind of ran out of time today, but we're gonna get to it.
I think that's it.
Yeah, I think that's it. This is
Episode 2.
See you next time.
Bye.
I hope you guys enjoy. Thank you for listening.